And we are live. Thank you so much to Hackatao and Eleonora for being here with me today. It's a huge pleasure. Very honored to have you as guests. How are you doing, Eleonora?
Thank you for having us. Good. Everyone is good. It's beautiful weeks for crypto art. Also, we are very much under pressure, but it means that it's good. So we're very good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the space has completely exploded in the last month, and obviously you guys had your drop yesterday, which is continuing on today with the auction. So I imagine it's a busy time. So thanks again for taking the time. Appreciate it. Super. So obviously, I don't think I need to introduce you. I think the community knows pretty well who Eleonora and who Hackatao are. I wanted actually to start off by obviously, highlighting how pioneer you guys have been in this space. And my first question is exactly this. So what does being a pioneer in crypto art mean for you?
Yeah, being a pioneer always has like the same meaning for any kind of space or any kind of thing you are pioneering. In the crypto art as anything else, Hackatao, who, okay, there's no need to introduce them, but just two words. You never know. So this couple, it's a artist duo from Italy, who was born in Milan many years ago, and then they moved to the blockchain when everything started. So it was 2018, before Super Rare launched the platform. So they were there when it launched. And so, to be a pioneer always takes a huge conviction and, efforts in believing in something that doesn't really work at the beginning. This is why you're pioneering, and maybe you will be proved right after a certain time. Again, this is why you are a pioneer. So they were there at the beginning, and the story is that they, in 2016, I think, they moved from Milan to the mountains, and so Sergio always tells this story, saying that it was winter, and as all the mountain workers in winter, they have some rest because the nature sleeps, and so they rest as well, and so they're home and they take this time to educate themselves and read. And so he was reading one of his favorite magazine, which is Le Scienze, and so he already knew about the blockchain at the time, but never thought about this. It was never explained too well, while in this article everything made sense to him, and at the end of the reading he just thought of how this could be an amazing tool if applied to art. And so he googled about it, and he found the Art Gnome blog, which is Jason Bailey's blog, and so he contacted him, and Jason Bailey, he loved their art, and he put them in contact with Super Rare, and the adventure started. But all of this just to say that the actors at the time were very few. It was like 3-4 artists maybe, and it's very fun to hear the stories. They're always saying that they were just buying each other's art pieces in the space. Like at the beginning you are experimenting, and in fact this thing also changed a lot with the space becoming bigger and bigger, because at the beginning many artists were collecting other artists' art pieces, which now is very different. But I guess today they just really believed in the space when it wasn't the easiest thing to do. And now 2 years and a half passed, like even not 2 years and a half, because blockchain time is always it feels like 100 years passed, but it's only 2 years, 3 years maximum. And yes, and so here they are, and now the space has been attacked by new forces, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's also a good thing. But they were there. They're obviously solid, and they know the space very well. And they built. I think that the main thing for having pioneered this specific space is the connection with community, because as you all know, community is such a crucial point in the crypto art space. And so if you were there, if you have been participating for a long time, that the community, your relationship with the community is very strong, and you can see that. And this is not a space that we all agree in the fact, at least, that it's not a space when you can enter and act as if the community doesn't exist. It's not individual. You have to be part of it. So it's an advantage for someone who was there a long time ago.
Yeah, I completely agree with this 100%. I think, I think about community a lot when I think about the crypto art space. It's probably like, the word that comes into my mind the most when I think about crypto art. So that's definitely key, and it will be
recognizing they're giving recognition to those who at least brought something to it in the years.
Yeah 100%. And it will be also interesting, it is interesting now to see the community like develop, and grow and change. And even since maybe September, when like I initially joined, like it's dramatically changed so much. And it's gone bigger and bigger and bigger. So having like being a pioneer in this space really means having kind of like stuck the branches in, like a tree, and have built the foundation. So it's
very the reactions of the community at this time, because like someone gets very pissed, and so they're become more extreme, like, oh, this is not crypto art anymore, this is not the art of those days, while someone else has more like different reactions, looking for fresh meat, and someone else is completely speculative. It's very interesting to see the reactions right now.
Yeah. It's like, being in a little world, like everybody has their own kind of personality. So it's definitely interesting. Yeah. And my next question is, shifting like from community to actually, talking about art, and specifically this very unique, style that Hackatao have. Especially, the combination that you use with cartoon style, black and white, color. What is the general kind of like meaning behind this combination of these styles?
It's fun that I've heard many people, because not everybody, at least a while ago, knew that Hackatao is a couple. And so when you tell them that they are a couple, they're always like, oh, this makes sense, like even in the style. So it's now it makes sense, because you look at the art pieces and you're like, who is the artist of this, right? And it really makes sense to think that there are two of them, because it's very like the style is completely it's complementary. The parts, the colorful parts, and the black and white parts are perfectly matched, but you can really see that they come from different souls and spirits. So Nadia, who is the one who's painting right now, she's the one who takes care of the colorful flat style pop part, and Sergio is the one who creates a black and white drawn by hand part, which is more I even said like it reminds of graffiti style, even like for the play of all these combinations. and yeah, it's this balance that you find, you even find in the actual couple, like in life. It's you can, if nobody, like if I didn't know them, you could really see from the art piece how they are, right? This completely like, it's not confused, but it's very detailed and like free flux of drawings is very different from this very strong and bright, colorful part. So what Nadia does is also to kind of like create a sort of container for this, again, this stream of drawings that otherwise will never stop. So the way they create, like the creation works is, obviously they get inspirations from, depending on the theme of the art piece or what they feel to create. They get inspiration from, could be books, web, stories, movies, everything. They put together the inspirations in, mood boards, and, in colors. They choose the colors very carefully, and all these inspirations that could help the creation of the drawings. But then Sergio always explains that when he gets to draw, it's not that it's just looking at the inspirations and kind of like copy them or put them in the drawings, but it's more of, okay, now I got fed pretty much like an AI, like a machine learning, right? Now I got fed with all this stimulus, and I got overstimulated, and now it goes through my filter, and now I put it out in the form of art. And so he says that if he didn't find some kind of like this kind of like cage, it will never stop. So that's how they really balance the two forces.
That's amazing. So it's like Nadia kind of creates, a form for Sergio to like burst out the creativity and then complement it with color. Super cool. I love that Nadia is drawing right now. It's like I'm actually looking I'm actually looking at that and seeing the painting. It's amazing. And actually talking about specifically one of their latest pieces and one of your like latest exhibitions that you just had, Promiseland. Obviously this kind of like looked at bridging traditional art history as well with like crypto art history. And this is, a theme as well in the pieces like You Win or You Die, as well as, the exhibition, the Promiseland. What are you trying to convey with this? And also, like, how important is it for you to bridge this gap between these two worlds?
It's the Promiseland. I mean, I was part of the project, but it really was one of my favorite projects we worked on. I mean, at the beginning, you are, I don't think that they were never scared. I was a little bit more as a curator, because I was like, we have to find a way not to get insulted by everyone when you like create a digital art piece that they have to put next to a masterpiece, like an Italian master like Guercino, art critics and all the structures of the art world. It's like impossible. But then, Hackatao, they were very convinced about what they were doing, and they said, this is not a competition. We don't think that we are able to compete. It's a different thing. So we thought that, and even we didn't even take it as a challenge. So we agreed that we should take it as a dialogue. And I have to say that during the project, the more that we were getting into it, and the more we would discover that all these pre-structures and fears that we would have is just, it really is us as humans putting it there, because art is art, and it never asked for names or categories or to be divided by time and space. It might sound like rhetorical, but it's not. And so like we had the demonstration that, okay, we, it's it's art, and we did it, and we created this dialogue. We try not to say too much in, like, compare the styles, or to create like an artistic dialogue, meaning in style or techniques, but more in the content. So we thought about, okay, this is Moses, and like, what was his highest function? He guided his people through the Exodus. And so did he change something today? And can you hear me well?
You're sometimes you're but now, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that
let's try.
Yeah, I was saying that we try to create the dialogue at the level of the content more than on the stylistic or technique level. Why? Because we realize that art, as well as issues and problems and dramas of humanity, it's the only thing that never changed. And so, like, what did Moses do? He guided his people through this Exodus. And did something change today? Actually, no. I mean, it changed in the form, but then if you look at the Mediterranean Sea, you have all these immigrants going towards the Promised Land. And so the Promised Land of the Jewish people thousands of years ago, and the Promised Land of these populations in the Mediterranean Sea, going towards Europe or the Western world. And so, as you can see in the art piece, we imagine, the point of view of the immigrants. So the sign of the Promised Land is reversed, so that basically they probably will never reach, many of them, they will never reach the Promised Land. This trip that they take, leaving behind their identity and going to search for a new one, and only the people who are already inside can actually see the sign. And then we chose mermaid, because in literature, the mermaid is the trick, right? She was tricking people, she was enchanting people with her voice. And here, unfortunately, she's enchanting the migrants towards this Promised Land that, again, will probably never be reached. And so it was a successful experiment, because, again, when we were in the end, we were like, this all makes sense. It's the same problems. It's art, is just the means changed. And the response was very good. It was very, it was very cool to see them together. The choice of the colors obviously was not random. I mean, there was like a huge research for colors that could match maybe more the feeling instead of the Moses itself. And it took place this was a real show. It's still on in a town close to Modena. There is a vitrine, so it's all glass. And so although we have COVID restrictions, people can walk by and see the beautiful Moses and the beautiful Promised Land art piece on a screen. And then we organized virtual show also on this new platform, where people go inside with their webcam and microphone. And so you don't have avatars, but it was an actual opening where you can talk to each other. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And how was it, I guess, like, how was it received, as well, in the context of, Italy as well, which is, that might be still like in the process of getting to know really this world of like NFTs and crypto art.
I don't think that everybody got the fact that this was an NFT. I'm talking from the real world perspective. But doesn't matter. That takes a whole different sort of education. So we were on the radio, the radio channel from Mambo in Bologna, and I didn't know about crypto art, but they know about digital art. So at least it was kind of better, like very concentrated on like how did you dare to put a screen close to next to a painting, opposed to that's very cool. It's a screen close to a painting. So there wasn't too much concentration from these people on the NFT because they don't really know. But the NFT world, again, I was always sure about this, and it was confirmed. That's not true that they hate different kind of art, because then when the painting was there and the Italian the Italian history of art, it was kind of fascinating, because then we created this room with all different art pieces of Guercino's contemporaries inspired by the Moses, and then another wall for Hackatao with all the making of the piece. So in the end, this was also proven. It's art, and the NFT people like the Moses as well. So
that's amazing. I mean, in the end, like, art is art, so it doesn't necessarily have to have any like direct connotation. Like art can have any meaning you want it to have. Yeah, that's super cool. And moving on to the recent collaboration, yesterday's amazing drop called Heroines with Jose Delbo and Maker's Place. I was wondering, I guess in a lot of pieces of Hackatao, like the presence of the woman, the role of the woman is very important. Why is this, first of all? And specifically to this drop, what does heroine mean, and the figure of the Wonder Woman as well? What is the meaning behind it?
Yeah, the role of woman is, but it's not the first time that woman is the main character, or the power, the empowerment, and the importance of women are the main characters of Hackatao's art pieces. It really is a recurrent theme. Well, we guess there is the first reason why it's so important is the presence of this female character in the couple, who is Nadia, and very special presence, not only because she is the 50% of the creative force of Hackatao, but also because who knows Nadia knows that she really is like a superwoman, very, very energetic. And even if you have a look at the role that she has in the artistic couple, very strong, never gives up. So it was natural to have a good example in the artist duo, and from then they really, the Hackatao really think that but from day one that I've met them, they have been talking about the role of women in society, and so on. So for this specific art piece, they were very happy to collaborate with Delbo, who is this fascinating 80, I don't remember how old he is, I think 84, but like to see someone this age still open in mind and heart and put himself into the game of like NFTs at this age, it was always very fascinating for them. And so they, he was one of the he was one of the artists who draw the Wonder Woman. And they even said, Hackatao even said that at the beginning, in order to give more strength to the position of the woman, they thought about creating, drawing the Wonder Woman carrying Batman instead of the world. But maybe the world is even more powerful. But just to give you the idea. But then not only the inspiration from the cartoon, obviously, if you look inside the drawn part that Sergio created, you see all the aspects of the role of a woman in society. You have Michelle Obama, you have Madonna, the Queen of Pop, you have Greta for the climate change, or Marie Curie for science and physics. So any sorts of women, really, each of them very much important in different in different fields. We had a conversation yesterday on Maker's Place, who was a platform that was the platform launching, dropping the pieces, and we were talking a lot about also the role of women in the crypto art space. Very different from the traditional art world, because women have so much space here, so much more space here. We were doing many reflections. One of those, I think that the blockchain kind of gave this opportunity to take for women. I mean, really for everybody. I don't even like to talk about women, but for everybody to be considered for what they are, since you can stay anonymous. And you are judged by what you do and not how you look like, or your gender or anything else. So I think that it was a nice push that we all got, all of us, not only women, from the blockchain space. And then from there, we were able to develop more positions, obviously, in the space, because once you prove that you're good, it only takes for you to prove that you're good. And then I guess take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the animosity, you don't know who the artist is unless they reveal themselves. So it's just a matter of liking subjectivity towards art, feeling towards art, rather than anything else. That's very true. That's very interesting. And what going back obviously to this collaboration, I know there's auctions open which are ending tonight. What makes this this collaboration unique, especially the combination of these two artists, which are both quite pioneers in the space, and both important characters of the crypto art community?
Yeah, I think that what makes it special is that, first of all, I mean, this is not Hackatao's answer. This is my answer. I think, first of all, it's a collaboration between two artists, which is not, it's not always so true. It's people who have been doing art since forever. Delbo even for a longer time. And so, when two three creative characters like Hackatao and Delbo meet, obviously something special will come out. Doesn't matter if it's in the crypto art space. Doesn't matter. This piece could be anywhere else on on paper, or because that's where actually all of them operate. They operate on paper first, and then the piece gets animated. So just a really, I think, demonstration of how collaboration. But one thing I have to say, that crypto art space, it's a merit of the crypto art space, is that artists collaborate a lot. And it doesn't always happen in the traditional art world. So maybe we would have never seen a collaboration. Maybe we would have never met, because one is in Argentina, Hackatao, they are in Italy. So again, the blockchain and consequences, the crypto art space, there's no space and time, so we should probably give that to the technology, that it was possible. Artists collaborate from all over the world without problems of space and time. So yeah, that was probably that's very special about this space.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it goes back to community as well, like the strong bonds that are created, which would probably not be possible or at all in real life. Yeah. I mean, I think that's all of the questions that I had for you today. It was so nice to have you, and to see Nadia draw as well, the Podmark, which is amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing how the auction ends tonight. And I know that, Hackatao has a lot of projects coming up and are very, very busy, as everybody in the space. So looking forward to seeing what's next for all of you.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Also, just to thank our sponsor as well, which this month is Whale Street, who are a DeFi engine that powers the NFT economics. So thanks a lot to them too. Thank you all, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Speak soon. Ciao.
Ciao.